Hello everyone, welcome back to another video lecture. In our today's video, we are going to study together the digital SAT English section. So in the previous few videos, we have been talking about the math section, the introduction of the English and the math section. But in our today's video, everyone, we are going to start with the actual introduction of the English section. So this is where most of us usually feel the difficulty. It's usually considered by the Indian students a tougher section on the SAT, whereas the math section is considered an easier section by most of the Indian students, right? So because this is considered tougher, I'm going to be staying focused on this section more than the math section. For my SAT is also, and for your SAT also, it is very important because half of your SAT marks will be out of your English section. So we need to get an 800 on an 800. Let's get started with the English section, reading and writing section, which is of 64 minutes. So you'll have 64 minutes for the English SAT. Okay. The questions you're going to be asked in 64 minutes are going to be 54, which is 75 seconds per question. Out of these, 27 are there in one module and 27 in another module. Out of these 27 per module, 2 questions are there which are the pre-test questions on which you are not given or awarded marks, right everyone? Okay, so there are 4 questions on the total English SAT which are not going to fetch you marks or points. The other questions are going to fetch you marks, which means 50 questions are going to fetch you marks. The other 25 and 25 are not going to fetch you marks, but the other 4 are not going to fetch you marks. So the topics basically covered are reading comprehension, which are very short passages which are covered, then grammar and punctuation. So basically short passages is usually a problematic thing for all of us. Then logical reasoning is not a big problem. Grammar and punctuation, not a very big problem. Then the other problem lies in vocabulary in context. Here they are going to check your vocab basically. So vocab, you need to have a very good vocab. You need to know words like abase, abate, abbreviate, many things like that. All right, so this is a tougher section for all of us. Then the weightage is reading 50% and grammar and editing also 50%. So we need to really work on this section of the English SAT, right? Vocabulary in context. This is usually the tougher unit, and for me, this is very tough and this is very tough also. So we need to work on these specifically. Okay, this one and this one. Now what happens is you get 75 seconds per question, right? So 75 seconds to read a comprehension and answer questions based on that comprehension is not that, it's not that easy task, right? So what usually my teacher suggests that you spend lesser time on the grammar and editing section. You just spend 30 seconds per question. Do not take a lot of time, but do not take very less time कि आपने बहुत ज़्यादा time छोड़ दिया, right? Then reading time, you take your complete reading section. Take your time in the reading section. Okay, save your time in the grammar and editing section, but take your time in the reading section because that's where you will lag. Okay, so that's what my suggestion would you to be. Okay, so time is 64. Just a second, I'll clear the clutter and then time is 64 minutes. Questions are 54, out of which 4 are your pre-test questions, 2 per module. Topics covered are reading comprehension, grammar, logical reasoning, vocabulary in context. Weightage of the topics are reading 50% and grammar and editing 50%. Okay, so if we divide any unit on the basis of difficulty, in math also I divided them on the basis of difficulty. So the division is like foundation first. This is the basic most part. This is the basic. Okay, this is the base. If you will not do foundation nicely, then you'll not be able to do the medium level questions, and then you'll not be able to do advanced level questions. So we need to make our foundation the strongest. There is a very good thing in Hindi. अगर इमारत की जो नीचे की वो है बेस ही स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं होगा तो इमारत खड़ी कैसे होगी? सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू वर्क ऑन योर फाउंडेशन लेवल टू गो ऑन टू द मीडियम लेवल टू हॉप ऑन टू द एडवांस लेवल. सो वील बी प्रैक्टिसिंग ऑल टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस टुगेदर. Okay, so that's how you divide your English section, right? सबसे पहला foundation, then would be your medium, and then would be your advance. All right everyone, मूविंग ऑन, वी हैव यूनिट 1. अब यहाँ ध्यान से मेरी बात को सुनना, बड़े ध्यान से. सबसे पहला यूनिट जो है वो दैट इज इंफॉर्मेशन एंड आइडियाज विच कंटेन्स पैसेजेस. सिंपल. पैसेजेस में क्या आएगा, बेसिकली दो आपको सेम चीजें दिख रही होंगी. ये पहली दो, कमांड ऑफ एविडेंस टेक्सचुअल, कमांड ऑफ एविडेंस क्वांटिटेटिव. व्हाट आर दीज? कमांड ऑफ एविडेंस टेक्सचुअल का मतलब है basically they'll be giving you some line from a poem or some introduction about the poem in 1 line or 2 line, and they'll be asking you a very twisted question based on this. Okay, this is my weakness. This command of evidence question textual is my weakness. This might be your weakness as well, so we will practice this from the next class onwards. Command of evidence is my weakness. It could be your weakness as well. Command of evidence textual is my weakness. Quantitative is not my weakness. Quantitative में क्या होता है, आपको डेटा दिया जाता है, तो आपको डेटा को प्रिडिक्ट करके डेटा प्लस पैराग्राफ देते हैं, तो पैराग्राफ पे आपको नहीं जाना. पैराग्राफ सिर्फ बेसिकली, आई शुड नॉट बी यूजिंग दिस वर्ड, बट पैराग्राफ इज जस्ट एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन. कई बार पैराग्राफ से क्वेश्चन आ जाता है, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम what my teacher has taught me, that it will be your first see the data, whether it's a pie chart, whether it's a bar graph, whether it's a line graph, go for the data. Data is most important on the English SAT. They do not want you to read the passage in command of evidence quantitative questions. Okay, then is central idea and detail questions. Central idea and detail question में वो आपसे main idea of the पैसेज पूछेंगे. तो बेसिकली अगर सिंपल भाषा में बोलूं तो कमांड ऑफ एविडेंस में आपको 2 लाइनें पढ़नी होती है, उसके बेसिस पे आंसर देना होता है. कमांड ऑफ एविडेंस क्वांटिटेटिव पे आपको सिर्फ डेटा पे फोकस करना है. सेंट्रल आइडिया एंड डिटेल्स पे आपको पूरा पैसेज पढ़ना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर आप पैसेज नहीं पढ़ेंगे यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन. इन्फरेंसेस में आपको टेक्स्ट में से कुछ इन्फरेंस करना होता है. बेसिकली जो ये सेंट्रल आइडिया का डिटेल है ना, डिटेल इज समथिंग सिमिलर टू इन्फरेंसेस. यू हैव टू आंसर अ क्वेश्चन बेस्ड ऑन दैट पैराग्राफ. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज क्राफ्ट एंड स्ट्रक्चर, which includes words in context. This is my weak point again. Craft and structure, sentence idea, sentence that, sentence कैसे बनाया हुआ है, these those that आएगा, कहीं पर where whose what आएगा. We'll practice. Text structure and purpose very similar to craft and structure, very similar. Okay, next ट्रांजिशन. ट्रांजिशन इज बेसिकली सेंटेंस में ट्रांजिशन आप कैसे ला रहे हो, उसको बट से जोड़ रहे हो, उसको आप एंड से जोड़ रहे हो, उसको आप और से जोड़ रहे हो. सो दीज आर थिंग्स विच आर ट्रांजिशंस. वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट दीज ऑल्सो. रिटोरिकल सिंथेसिस, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इसमें क्या करते हैं, नोट्स देते हैं आपको. नोट्स मेकिंग करी आप लोगों ने 11th में. नोट मेकिंग की तरह ही यू विल बी प्रोवाइडेड नोट्स, and on the basis of notes you have to differentiate or you have to tell some detail. Okay, usually a difference is asked in rhetorical synthesis. Basically what they do is there are some notes of a given character, and उसके notes के basis पे आपसे question पूछा जाता है कि उसने जो ये notes बनाए इसको analyze करके हमें question का answer दो. Form, structure and sentence very easy, and sense, sorry, not sentence. Form, structure and sense very easy, and boundaries very easy. These are all part of writing section. Okay, we'll be talking about these also in detail. So from the next video onwards I'll be talking about all of them in detail, so I would want you to join that session as well. With this we have completed the introduction video. I kept it very short because nobody wants to listen a big video. I kept it very short and precise. We'll be starting with command of evidence. I think I'll be starting with command of evidence quantitative, or maybe I might start with something else, but I'll try to start with command of evidence textual or quantitative because they are my weak points as well. Not quantitative but textual you also pay attention to. We'll be starting with it. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye, take care, subscribe to the channel.